Well, if that don't get you toe tapping, nothing will. Good afternoon. Welcome to Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm Dave Alexander. I'm honored and pleased to be president this year. Walk-up music today for Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras. That was When Saints Come Marching In, a New Orleans theme song. This version is from the Preservation Jazz Hall Band. Anyone ever been to Preservation Jazz Hall? Outstanding place, yeah. Thought you would. Saints is an old black spiritual from the 1890s that was made famous with the lyrics that we now know in 1936 by New Orleans' own Louis Armstrong. Enjoy Fat Tuesday coming up next week. Our program will be Kids Belong. We'll begin with a pledge, and Emily Morgenstern will provide the reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll do the four-way test at the end. Emily.
Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know, Valentine's Day is Saturday. And I asked my fiance a couple weeks ago what he wanted for Valentine's Day. He said, I don't need to get him anything. It's a Hallmark holiday. However, I will say he has made me something, so I know he's going to give me a gift. However, growing up at Catholic school, we got to learn about the story of St. Valentine. So a little history lesson. St. Valentine was a 3rd century Roman clergyman who was martyred for performing marriages at a time when marriage was banned due to the emperor believing that single men made better soldiers. His willingness to risk his life reflects a deep commitment to faith, compassion, and the sanctity of love. In a world that often reduces love to sentiment or celebration, his legacy reminds us that love is also action. It is choosing loyalty, kindness, and courage even when it is difficult. So this Valentine's Day, I encourage you to reflect on how you embody love in your own life through relationships, service to others, and your willingness to stand up for what is right. And a Hallmark card doesn't hurt.
Emily, I went to 12 years of Catholic education. I don't think I was ever told the St. Valentine story. It's lifelong learning here at the Rotary Club. Please take your seats. Continue with lunch. Network and mingle. We'll be back shortly. We'll bring her back to gather here. Would visiting Rotarians and guests please come to my right? Amy will escort you to the screen, and I will start. We have with me, my guest today is Kippy Ellis, an agent with 5 Star Realty, and a professional cook. Health Hut, right? That's where we're going to find you. And she is in the process of becoming a new member. Welcome, Kippy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Seitzema, and I am very excited to have my good friend and neighbor and financial advisor, Bob Garrettson, here with me. He is the CEO of Embark Financial Planners, and he and his wife Heather live up the street from us, and they are very involved with the Big Reds, Go Big Reds, Go Big Reds. And he's also on the board of the West Michigan Symphony, and what else were we going to say?
Above average dancer.
Above average dancer, okay. He's been part of Dancing with the Local Stars before, so, and he has been approved for membership, so welcome Bob Garrettson.
Good morning, Bernard Brown from Muskegon Area ISD. I have with me Alec McDonald. He's a recent graduate of Western Michigan University and has, in December, started with the Muskegon Lumberjacks as their business development manager, and is looking forward to introductions and meeting new people here. And so he's been to the Tech Center already and excited to meet other members of our community.
The the bigger kids in the back, and then the younger kids can come up front, all right? I could come over here? I can do it. Okay, is this gonna interfere?
I'll just take it. Amy, she'll do it from the podium so that.
Schroeder, and with me today, I'm going to try to channel my inner Marty. So, Muskegon Montessori's in the house. So this year we started an early act club. They already had an eco club established at their school, so we kind of merged them together because a lot of what they were already doing follows what Rotary really holds dear. So they have a lot of cool projects, which Gwen will go a little bit more into detail with, but we've got, actually, we might need the microphone, because they were going to introduce themselves. Do you have the microphone? Perfect. So we've got our Miss Andrea here is the advisor on staff for the club. We've got Mr. Jeff, the principal, who some may recognize him as well, because he's doing the Dancing with the Local Stars this year. And then we've got Miss Anna, who is another advisor and staff member at the school. And so the officers, I think, we're going to introduce themselves real quick, and Gwen was going to tell us a little bit about what they do with their club. Quick.
Someone will take it.
Hi, I'm Henry, and I'm in 5th grade, and I'm the secretary of Eco Club.
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm the treasurer of Eco Club.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm in 6th grade, and I am the vice president of Eco Club.
Hi, I'm Gwen, and I am in 6th grade, and I'm the president of Eco Club, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do in our Eco Club. So we raise a couple types of fish. We raise salmon and sturgeon, and sturgeon has a rather low population. So we want to help with that. So we release our salmon and sturgeon at the end of the school year into, I don't know where, the water somewhere. And we are having a sale where we are selling native succulents to Michigan, and in hopes that someday they will be replanted into our ground, and so that we can have more native plants. Thank you.
Tough act to follow. Bill Oxman here. Pleased again this week to recognize Bradley Demersion, who by this week, next week at this time, should be a reinstated Rotary member. And I promised last week that I would tell a little bit about what he does. He works for FM Global remotely. He's relocated back here to Muskegon. And the guy's got a computer set up that would embarrass NASA, I swear. Got about 6 giant screens, and he sits right in the middle of it and does about 50 things at once. So welcome back, Brad Demersion.
I think that was great. Welcome.
Thank you. Come on over. You don't have to channel me. You be yourself. That is plenty good. I just am kind of annoying and loud. Speaking of me being annoying and loud, we've got more student guests in the house from North Muskegon High School. To introduce 2 of the seniors is Shayna Woodwick. She is the counselor at the high school.
Hello, thank you for having us today. I've been in education for a long time, but it's my first year at North Muskegon High School, and it's an amazing school. So I'm learning so much, and we have great kids. I brought 2 of the best today. Marty said I could tell you a little bit about our school, and I noticed a little bit of a dance theme, so I thought I'd share this with you. We recently had snow coming, very exciting, and on the assembly on the Friday before the dance, the students all come up with a lip sync competition, dance, basically. The 9th graders, the 10th graders, 11th, 12th, and even better, the staff does a lip sync dance. And so It's great. It's great. Anyway, it was really fun. But I want to introduce you to JC and Curtis, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their experience at high school.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Jacinta Patrick. I go to North Michigan High School. You probably remember me from last week. I was in a video podcast with Mike. Give it up for Mike. Yeah, he's great. He's great. I've been involved in Rotary and my high school's Interact Club for almost 8 years now. I was president for 2 years. I love it. I love the friendships, the lifelong friendships I made. It has shaped me into a person, all the lessons it has taught me, and so grateful for every opportunity it's given me, and I've tried to encourage everybody to join, so that's what I've been doing. For sports, I play tennis. I've been involved in my high school tennis team for 4 years, playing at 2 singles. Hopefully I can play this year, but my wrist is kind of broken, so I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. Oh, really? Oh, well, I'll talk to you later. But yes, and what else? I'm involved in my National Honor Society. I love to volunteer in my free time, local nonprofits. You probably see me at local food banks a lot, Feeding America, love them. And I am heavily involved in my school's mock trial team, which really sparked my interest in law, which I plan to pursue at the University of Michigan. So, yes. So, yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Curtis Vandervelde. I'm a senior at North Muskegon High School. A few of the things I do, I'm a section leader in my choir class. I am also one of the captains on the North Muskegon soccer team that went to regional finals this year. That was pretty fun. I like to volunteer. I've gone on the Appalachian Service Project for the past 4 or 5 years, and then I'm planning on going on it again and recruiting her to go with me as well, hopefully. Yep, have a lot of fun, and then I'm planning on going to MCC after school, and then I would like to be a firefighter after that.
We can head back.
Marty, I must say, this is the best developed presentation we've heard just off the cuff. Outstanding, guys. Nice job and welcome. Muskegon Minute today is this. Muskegon County Economic Development and Muskegon Rotary Club have been linked for decades. Since I came to Muskegon in 1981, Muskegon Economic Development has been led by, count them out, Muskegon County Economic Development Corporation, Greater Muskegon Industrial Fund, Muskegon Chamber of Commerce, Muskegon Economic Growth Alliance, and Muskegon Area First, which has now become Greater Muskegon Economic Development for Muskegon County. Economic development executives have included Rotarians, John Lindale, Tom Morris, Phil Schultz, Mike Mihalski, Dave Wentland, Todd Battle, Jim Edmondson, Ed Garner, Marla Schneider, Frank Peterson, Kathy Raker-Clark, and now GMed Executive Director Trevor Friederberg, a new member of our Muskegon Rotary Club family. I'd like to invite anyone interested in Muskegon County Economic Development to join Trevor and the Greater Muskegon Economic Development Board and staff to a first-of-its-kind annual meeting. That'll be Wednesday, February 25th, Muskegon Country Club, starting at 11:30 to 1:30. It's a free lunch, but you have to register first through GMed at their website, developmuskegon.org. So that's February 25th. If you're interested in economic development, as I am, please join us. With that, Jenny McNeil will introduce the program. Judge?
Good afternoon. I am Jenny McNeil, one of our family court judges, and a major part of my job is handling neglect and abuse cases. And if you're, hopefully none of you have to see the system, but one of the things I quickly realized was that in the process, DHS has an attorney, the prosecutor, each parent gets an attorney, the kids have an attorney, I'm there as the judge, but one group is doesn't have an attorney and doesn't have a lot of support, and that's the foster parents or the families that take in children who unfortunately have to be removed from their home. And so Jeff and Katie Steele have been longtime foster parents, and I'm going to tell you they can't tell me the exact number, which actually is probably a good thing because it's not about numbers for them. They've probably had about 100 kids that have come to their home. Can you imagine that, 100? Like, I've got 2. Like, I couldn't imagine that. And they currently have 15 children in their home. And if you've ever been in their home, it's this amazingly, like, chaotic, wonderful place to be. Just amazing people and what they've done. And foster care work is tough because these are kids who've been traumatized in one way or the other, whether it's abuse or neglect. They are traumatized. And foster parents step in to help these kids. They're in their home. And they just do amazing work like the Steeles. And what's pretty cool about Jeff Steele and Katie, his wife, is that they recognize that there was more needed for these foster parents, that foster parents needed a place, they needed help. And so Jeff had this fantastic idea. He started Kids Belong, and then First Place. And I was fortunate when they asked me to join the board a couple years ago. And it's amazing. Jeff is one of these, like I said, to take in children that are not your own, who have been traumatized, is just amazing. They have taken in even kids where they've gotten phone calls from kids who are in my court, please help us, we need help. And they always say yes. I don't know if they'll do that anymore after the last case, but they always say yes. They are amazing. They've done amazing things. Kids Belong, and that's why I asked if they could come here today. It's just does amazing things for our community. And so I'd like to introduce you to Jeff Steele, and he is going to talk about Kids Belong in First Place.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jenny. I'm happy to be here and just to share a little bit about Kids Belong and about who we are. I'll kind of introduce us a little bit. If you want to put the first slide up there, it kind of gives an idea of why we do what we do. We believe very strongly that better supports makes a better system. And so one of the things that we've kind of taken to saying lately is we're building a stronger foster care system. We're building a stronger system for the families who foster, for families who adopt. Because one of the things that we found out very quickly is that it's very hard. We got licensed for foster care in 2011, and we had 2 kids in our home at the time. They were 7 and 2, and we very quickly found out that we are not very good at saying no. And that is something I always encourage new foster parents to learn how to do, to say no. Do as I say, not as I do, of course. But we found that it is very difficult. And what we have seen over the years is that it's also very isolating. And it's not just foster care, it's adoption care, it's kinship care. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But you're entering into a world where things don't make sense anymore the way that they used to make sense to you, the way that they still make sense to family and friends who are not connected in foster care. It's almost like, you're doing things that are kind of upside down now. And so what happens is families can become very isolated, and they can withdraw from some of their supports. And so we meet families all the time who get connected to our services, they get connected to our events, who say, we are barely hanging on. Like, we are hanging by a thread here. We meet adoptive families who have adopted kids at 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever. Kids get into their teen years. You know what? Teen years are hard, right? It's hard, even if you don't have lots of identity issues, even if you don't have a history of childhood trauma, even if you don't have all those things. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out where you belong. And it is tough. And so sometimes things pop up in the teen years, and families are very much caught off guard by it. And so we see a lot of families who are struggling, and they are hanging on. So what we want to do is surround them. We want to wrap them up in supports and let them know that there is support and there is help for them. So just by way of introductions, this is my family. This was, I know, she wasn't lying. She wasn't lying. We didn't have all those kids at once, but this was from earlier in the spring, and actually there's a couple exchange students in there too, because our life is not exciting enough. We do have 2 exchange students. So there's a bunch of adopted kids, we have some guardianships and stuff. We covered up a couple of foster kids' faces, just because we don't want to share those publicly. And if you'll notice too, I said we had 2 kids when we started. We actually have 4 biological kids now, because if you look down front to the left there, you'll see a little guy, because I'll tell you, God is hilarious. And when you have 14 kids in the home, and he's like, hey, by the way, here's another one in your 40s, that's exciting. That's exciting stuff for me and my wife. So he is an absolute delight, and he's awesome. So anyways, that's our family. And what we want to do is we want to be an encouragement, right? And so we want families to know you are not alone. You are not alone. It may feel like it feels like you're alone. It feels like you have lost your mind. It feels like nothing makes sense in your life anymore. We want you to know that you are not alone. This is a picture of a mom's night. We gather families in a lot of different ways. And one of the ones that we do is we always do a mom's night every month. We gather moms together. Moms are easy to get together. You know how you host a mom's night? You say to some moms, hey, you want to come to mom's night? And then they come. It's just that easy. We do dad's nights also. Dads are harder. It's really hard because they're suspicious. They're like, what are we going to do? And what do I have to do? And do I have to talk to anybody? We twist a lot of arms to get dads to dad's night. Mostly we play poker, honestly, because and I'm not kidding, here's a super great thing. I'm an introvert. I don't like social situations where I don't know what is expected of me. If you give me a game of poker, put cards in my hand, I know exactly what I have to do. And I can navigate those couple of hours, and I can even have conversations with people. It's very freeing, actually. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff for dad's night. But we had a mom who came to mom's night, and this was her comment. She said, you've renewed my faith in myself and confidence we're doing the right thing for my family. You question yourself a lot. Did I do the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing everything that I can? And when you take a mom who is struggling and you surround her with other moms who, guess what, are also struggling. Okay, nobody has it together. You can start to create this space where it's okay. It's okay to struggle. And it is okay to feel like you don't have it all together. And so maybe if other people are experiencing the same thing that you are, maybe you are doing the right thing for your family. That's really important. That was a kinship mom. I said I was going to talk about kinship. Kinship is where kids get removed by Child Protective Services. They send them to a family member who never intended to do foster care. They'll just call you up and say, hey, we just removed your niece and nephew. They're going to go into foster care unless you take them right now. And so kinship families end up in this world where they've just kind of been thrown into it without intention. We signed up for foster care. We did all the training. We thought about it. We had this months-long process. Kinship parents don't get that. And we met a kinship mom when she came to pick up Christmas stockings. We do Christmas stockings every year. And we give the community a chance to make Christmas stockings for our families. We did 540, I think, last year. So, and we had this mom, and she had never come to an event, and she came to pick up her stocking, and we met her, and we said, hey, you should come to an event, and you should, we're doing this, we're doing a dinner, you should come to it. And she said, I've never come to it, and here's why. She said, you all seem like you really love what you do, and I hate it. She got thrown into it. She never wanted it, and every day she looks at her family and she thinks, I've ruined my family because this is so hard. This is so hard. So we're able to come alongside that mom and say, number one, you didn't ruin your family. And number two, we don't gather together because we're cheering for ourselves. We're not like, hey, what good people we all are, when we get together. That's not it. We gather because we are struggling and because we need the support of that community in order to make it through. We want them to know that we're surrounded by support. So these are some of the things that we do. I mentioned the Christmas stockings. There's a photo of that. It takes over my living room every year. We have foster closets where families can come and get supplies that they need. We do a back-to-school event every year where kids come in, they get to pick out their backpack, they get to fill it with school supplies. We did 700 of those backpacks last year. We did 4 events in 4 locations around West Michigan. We did Easter baskets, families come and gather those things. We want people to know that there is support for them, and there are folks who are willing to serve and willing to donate, volunteer to events, and there's a lot of support. We want families to know that they can keep going. So we had a family who came in ready to quit, said, we are done, we are quitting, our appointment is next week with our worker, we're out. We've asked for help, nobody knows how to help us. As a last-ditch effort, they came to one of our events. And you know what? At that event, they met some other parents, and they got some phone numbers of some other parents. And because of that, they were able to keep going. Now, this is a case they were going to break placement on a couple of kids, and they didn't break placement. And those kids ended up going back home to the birth parents. Now they're got another placement that they're waiting to adopt. And had they thrown in the towel, none of those things would have happened, right? And here's the thing. So we say in the foster parent training, we say that when the decision is made to move a child from your home, when you break placement, the number one reason, more than half the time, is perceived parental stress. Foster parents get stressed out, and they say, we can't handle this case anymore, and they break placement. It's time for these kids to go elsewhere. If we can lower the stress level of foster parents, we can preserve placements, is what that means. And we can lower the stress level not by changing their circumstance, but by surrounding with community. The more community around you, the lower your stress level, right? You know that to be true in other instances. And so if we can do that, if we can provide that for families, we can actually make a difference in terms of number of placements, how long kids are able to stay in foster care placements, and all of that leads to better outcomes for kids. We had a family who was just sharing, when we first started, we didn't have closets to get things, we didn't have community, we didn't have family events, and now, we have places to belong. And so our families come because they need a place to belong. These are the kind of things that we do. We host a lot of events. So we always do a family fun night every month, and it is something that families can come to. We do food, kids have games, activities, all that kind of stuff. We do parent dinners, where it is specifically for the parents, and we have programming for the kids in another part of the building. We do mom's nights, we do dad's nights, support groups. We do Christmas parties, we started doing that. Back to school event, that's a really big one. Altogether, we did 83 events last year, okay? There is a certain frequency that is required to build community. And so we need to host events, and we need to host families to where they get to know each other. They get to know the volunteers who come and who support events. We have churches that host events, and they're getting to know some of our families. And that's important, that there are a lot of different ways and different times and opportunities to connect. 83 events last year, by far our largest year. It just gets bigger every year. I'm kind of in the midst of reporting phase right now. We serve 327 families. So foster families, adoptive families, kinship families. 327 families is like 1,700 people, something like that. That we were able to connect with, that we were able to serve, and at least serve them with some kind of tangible, hey, we believe in you, you can keep going. Really, really important. So that's half of what we do, okay? Half of what we do is serving families, serving the kids. They come to events, they find out they're not alone. Kids come to events, they find out, you know what, you're not the only one in foster care. There's even my biological son, who was 7 years old when we started fostering, would come to events and he would come home and say, this is the only place I feel normal, right? Because our family's not normal. We fully appreciate that. We fully embrace that. There is nothing normal about us, and that's okay. But that is the community where he would say that's where I feel normal. And that really means something. So here's the other thing that we do, and I'm going to try to cover it really quickly. We saw a gap in service for aged out youth. So foster youth who age out of the system, you turn 18. We had one who aged out, and man, we just watched her struggle. She struggled, trying to find a place to live, trying to find someplace, that was first somebody to even rent her an apartment, but just watched her go kind of from bad situation to bad situation. And we thought, man, we should really do something. So this was during COVID. Did you take up a project during COVID? Did you I need something to do? Well, we built a housing program during COVID. So we built First Place, so we're bridging that gap. We lived in Grand Haven for 20 years. We served through Muskegon County. We were always licensed for foster care through Muskegon County. But we lived in Grand Haven, and in 2020, we bought some property here in Muskegon, right by the community college. And we decided to build our house there, build ourselves a new house. We needed a big house. And so we decided we're going to include some space for youth who age out of foster care. Long story short, the property that we bought 5 acres and found out it was actually zoned multifamily. We could build multiple dwelling units on it. That's interesting. So building our house with one attached apartment quickly turned into more. So we built our house in the middle. We split off the front 1.5 acres, signed it over to Kids Belong. Kids Belong is now fundraising to build apartments. We're building duplexes. Okay, with duplexes, every time we raise $160,000, we can build another building. So far to date, we've raised just over $1 million. We have, yes, thank you. So we've built 4 duplexes so far. We're working on site plans and all the things that we need to get accomplished in order to build 3 more, plus an office space house. I'll show you pictures of that. But here's the plan. So youth need some kind of transition space. So it's a 2-year program. Youth come into our program with nothing. They can have nothing if they want. And they come into a fully furnished apartment. It's 550 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment. It has all the kitchen utensils, supplies, everything that they need to get started. They start out paying $350 a month. Every 4 months, that rent bumps by about $100. We are doing budgeting with youth every month. They have to be working and or going to school, so they have to accomplish the goals that are set out for them to be a part of the program. So they are building rental history. They're building work history. We're patching up any life skills stuff that they're missing. If they're not sure about cooking, they're not sure about laundry, whatever, we're going to help them along with that. So they're going to build those skills over the course of 2 years in the program. And when they are done, they're going to have 2 years of rental history. They're going to have been paying utilities directly for the last year of the program. After a year, we sign over utilities in their name. They're going to have 2 years of budgeting. And by the end of the program, they'll be paying $800 a month in rent. They can take that budget, transfer it to their next apartment that they can apply for, and they should be able to get approved for. Out of those rent payments, we save about $2,400 of it for them. So there's about $1,800 in program fees that will go. We will pay that to their next landlord. And so we'll help them get their first month's rent security deposit set up. And then there's about a $600 security deposit that they'll get back for taking good care of our apartment. We build that into the rent. So every month, $25 of their rent goes to a security deposit. Every $50 or whatever goes to a program fee. And so we're sending all that with them. If they stay for the full 2 years, they can take the furniture with them. So take the couch, the bed, the table and chairs, all the things. So you can come into the program with nothing. You can leave after 2 years with your first month's rent security deposit covered and all of the furnishings that you need for your next apartment. So think about that first step to adulthood, right? It's big. It's big to get into an apartment without credit history, without rental history, without furniture, without all the things that you need to get going. So we're going to ease them into it, right? We're going to take that really big step and break it down into smaller ones. This is what the property looks like. This is actually an older photo. That fourth one is finished and occupied now. But so we have 4 duplexes, 8 apartments currently in our program. Here's the great thing too. This was really, and I say this was a God-given parcel. I really think it was, because it's in the middle of everything in Muskegon. We're right, that little neighborhood right next door to Muskegon Community College between MCC and the highway? That's us. That means we are halfway between MCC and the Tech Center. That means we are 1 mile from Apple Avenue. We are right on the bus route that goes to Orchard View Adult Ed, where you can finish your high school diploma if you don't have it yet. Anything that you need to do, you can do with your own 2 feet or a bicycle or the bus. It's very hard to come out of foster care with your driver's license. Very hard. Very few do. And so you can work towards a car, you can work towards your driver's license, and you don't have to rely on random people to, get you where you need to go. You can be responsible for your own stuff. This is what the apartments look like. They're really cute. New construction. They all come with a washer dryer, so no need for laundromats, etc. Anybody who's come to an open house and has said, I could live here, this is great. How do I get into one of these? We want young people to know they can do it. We want them to know, you can do this. Like, the first step feels so overwhelming. It feels so overwhelming that if your first step feels overwhelming, you'll just give up. And you just won't, there's no path forward for you, is what it feels like. And so we want young people to know that they can do it. This is the full site plan, what it's going to look like here. So our 4 that are completed, and then we've got another row of 3 more, and another house that we're going to use for office space for the nonprofit. We're going to have counseling space in that house. We're going to have a counseling office. Really exciting stuff there that I do not have time to tell you about, but I'm super geeked about happening there. And we have other uses that we want to use to support foster care in general, and CPS and foster families and other things in that space. So that's what it looks like, and what it will look like. I had my son fly a drone in Photoshop for me so I could have like a little, because he's good at that stuff. So that's where we're at. As a nonprofit, we are in the midst of growing really rapidly, honestly, in terms of number of events. We keep expanding kind of our reach. We have families who come to us and from the outer edges kind of where we serve, and they say, we don't have anything like this. And so we keep kind of expanding our territory out a little bit more. And we are looking forward to reaching new communities and new families, and anywhere that we find where there are foster families, there's adoptive families, there's kinship families who are feeling isolated, feeling stuck, we want to surround them with community and support. And so that's what we do. And I think I'm out of time. So thank you very much.
He says he's an introvert? I don't get that. Questions, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Wait. Let me give you-
Oh, you have to wait for that. I don't know how to do it either.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Are there any volunteer opportunities? Our Interact Club at my high school would love to come and volunteer for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. When we are in construction phase, there are always projects on like some construction things or events. Sometimes we have volunteers who come and help with events that we host, for sure. Yeah.
I just wondered how you survive financially. I mean, are
As
you
a
supported
nonprofit?
by the state in any way? Or
We are
is it
not.
just donations?
We have no state dollars. No federal, no state dollars. So we are supported entirely by private donations.
Wow.
So yeah, we're not quite up to standard there in terms of like being able to pay like salaries very well right now, but that's okay. It's a growth kind of area. And I am very, very proud of the money that we pay out for programming and things. A lot of in-kind donations, a lot of private donations. That's been it so far, which, let's be honest, that's not a bad place to be right now. The money is given and it's in the bank, and then we'll use it. Yes?
This might sound like a silly question, but it is very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Do you and your wife sleep?
We do. We do. Yes. My wife, 90% of what we do because of her, honestly. She is a master administrator, and she can run an organization or a large family like nobody's business. So, like, if it was up to me, I'm just, like, dreaming of things, that we could do and everything. She literally makes it happen.
Yeah, I was just curious. Is there any commitment to like diversity and inclusion, specifically to potentially the LGBTQ plus communities and helping those families. Specifically, my husband and I just started the adoption process through DHHS. And
Nice.
so
Thank you.
we're, just kind of curious what that looks like for our community.
Yeah. So in terms of our commitments, we serve anybody and everybody. We don't have like a specific quota or anything like that, I guess you would say. But we serve anyone and everyone. We have, I would say, we have a number of LGBT families who come to events. We have LGBT youth who live in our housing program. So we're kind of an anyone and everyone kind of policy there.
Our school does a donation we do money. We spend off money for game nights. So if you want to help us spend money or we can vote for you guys, it would be okay, right?
That would be okay. That would be okay.
That was the best question.
Thank you.
Outstanding work, outstanding presentation. Thank you again, Jeff. The speaker's honorarium this year will be a Muskegon Rotary Club donation for supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from Interact clubs as they take service trips to El Salvador and Honduras. Birthday slide, Michael. Woo, here we go. Susan Hausman, Christine Robier, Jesse Ryle, Marty Farabee, and Jane Klingman Scott. Do we have the choir in the audience? Very nice, thank you. Rotary in action this week is Kat Hyder.
I'm Kat Hyder. I joined Rotary November 2024, and I wanted to connect deeper to Muskegon County. One of the things I value the most is connecting with one another at Rotary. I noticed that everyone goes there with good intentions and wants to connect with fellow Rotarians to build and have a bigger impact for the community as a whole. When I talk to people, I want to know beyond the surface, and I think some people do it more naturally in Rotary, and I think some people need more of a nudge. But I think everyone goes there to network, connect, and understand how we can have a bigger impact in our community. I had the honor of being on the Poor's Committee and the Harvest Fest. I've been dabbling in the Sustainability Committee and the Interact. Yesterday was my first meeting with them. Just lets me know our intentions are making an impact on this community, and we're already seeing leaders at the age of 10. I would just like to provide advice to any new Rotarian, anyone that's been there for many years. This is a very special space in Muskegon County, and it's a great invite for if you want to personally get to know someone on a personal level or in a professional level, invite them. I'll go to Grand Rapids, I'll go to Grand Haven, I'll go to Ludington, and I'm inviting people to our chapter to see why it's really special. And once people come here, they understand that the intentional and impact that we have on our community is in a whole different level, and it's contagious. And the fact that it's contagious lets us know that we can spread that joy. There's a lot of bad news and negativity in this world, and when we can do something so special, why wouldn't we do it? Why wouldn't we make that difference?
Kat is also a member of the JCs, and we'll get to that in a minute in terms of leadership. This is why we diversify our base in all areas, but especially bringing young people in. So proud of you, kid. So proud of you. We have 2 inductions with Jennifer Braun and Morgan Whitmer step forward with their sponsors Camille Jordan Mark and Melissa Horton. Who would like to go first? Camille.
Thank you, Dave. And before I start, I have to recognize Abby and Henry, two of our Boys and Girls Club kids. So thanks for being here today. All right, Jennifer Bruin is my new Rotarian. Jennifer grew up in Holland, Michigan, where her passion for service and community began at an early age. Graduating from Holland High School, she was, of course, a Dutch dancer and remained civically engaged as a young professional through her involvement with the Holland JCs and several volunteer experiences during her undergraduate studies. Jennifer began her work at the Council of Michigan Foundations in Grand Haven, leading the statewide Youth Advisory Council subcommittees connected with community foundations in partnership with Kellogg Foundation's $1 Million Match Challenge. She later served as the first program director at the Community Foundation of Holland and Zeeland area, where she helped to advance the visibility and impact of community foundation initiatives. Through the advice and guidance of prominent mentors, Jennifer was invited to conduct research and teach at the Johnson Center for Philanthropy alongside her colleagues from CMF and the Kellogg Foundation. She attributes her greatest accomplishments as serving more than a decade teaching public administration courses through Grand Valley State University and her research with colleagues at the Johnson Center for Philanthropy. She serves as Director of Business and Development at the Boys and Girls Club of the Muskegon Lakeshore, where she continues her commitment to youth, leadership, and the resource development of the club. Jennifer earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from the College of St. Elizabeth, New Jersey, as well as a master's in public administration from GVSU. And we ought to compare and see how close we were to graduating together. So anyway, Jennifer and her husband Boyd moved to the Norton Shores area in 2023 and have enjoyed learning about the growth and local businesses and organizations around Muskegon County. Outside of her work, she enjoys summers boating, gardening, and spending time with her 3 boys and extended family. Jennifer looks forward to connecting with local Rotarians through the values of service, leadership, and lifelong learning. Welcome, Jennifer.
I
have to put on the readers.
You're not done yet.
So, I am really happy today to welcome Morgan Whitmer to the club. And Morgan is perhaps best known as Addie Whitmer's mom, which Addie was here all the time in Rotary. Morgan is an active part of this community and has been making a name for herself through her numerous volunteer positions. As development and office administrator at the Lakeshore Museum Center, Morgan plays a key role in supporting development efforts and day-to-day operations, helping the museum build stronger connections with our members, donors, and community partners. She also has to wrangle me. A proud City of Muskegon resident, Morgan and her husband John have lived in a historic home downtown for over a decade. She is mom to the aforementioned Addie and also Vivian, and artistically talented high schooler and soon-to-be driver. She is also a self-proclaimed nerd and a runner and a turophile, which is a lover of cheese. I did not know that. Formerly a member of GCI Greater Muskegon, she served as chairperson and co-chairperson on several projects that received state recognition, including Snowfest, which is coming up February 21st, mark your calendars, and the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which will be here before we know it. Additionally, she is recognized as one of Muskegon's Future 15 in 2016. Currently, she serves as trustee on the Muskegon Public Schools Board of Education.
Go Big Reds.
Go Reds.
Treasurer of the Big Reds Marching Band Boosters, and is the marketing director for the best darn fest in the whole Midwest, the Michigan Irish Music Festival. You know that she is close to Kevin Donovan, so she asked him to edit this bio for her, and the first thing he said was just, keep it short.
Jennifer and Morgan, come join me over here. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it's a great privilege today to formally welcome 2 new members into the Muskegon Rotary Club. Membership in Rotary is not merely joining a club, but but becoming part of a global family dedicated to making a positive impact locally and internationally. Rotary International is a family of more than 1.2 million Rotarians in more than 45,000 clubs in over 200 countries worldwide. Jennifer and Morgan, welcome to the Muskegon Rotary Club. You are invited to membership because you embody the spirit of service and high ethical standards Rotary upholds. Your sponsor recognized your potential and introduced you to this organization, which is committed to fostering the ideal of service above self. As a member, you now represent Rotary in the community. Membership involves duties and obligations, including regular attendance, contributions to service and fundraising activities. You will need to join a committee, become involved in the work of this club and of Rotary International. We promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, support education, embrace mothers and children, grow local economies, and protect the environment. Locally, we have long traditions of developing youth leadership among other avenues of community service. Join us in our work and the joy of fellowship. Do you agree to the obligations of Rotary membership? Yes. Thank you. I formally induct you into the Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm providing you with a Rotary pin, wear it with pride, and also a Rotary four-way test. That's also the object of Rotary, and I'm just going to hand that to you. You're welcome. Here's the other one. There you go. Thank you. I ask you to take the gift of Rotary and share it with others. Specifically, invite someone with your commitment to community and ethical standards to join the Muskegon Rotary Club in the next 6 months. Will you accept this assignment? Yes. Thank you. At the end of the meeting, please be in the lobby with your sponsor to allow members to welcome you to the club. With that, I ask the members and guests of the Muskegon Rotary Club to rise and welcome the newest Rotarians in the world, Jennifer and Morgan. Welcome. We got one photo up here. Okay, no Paul Harris Awards today, but we do have some announcements. Those who have announcements that are either Rotary information or Rotary events, please come forward. To my right, you'll have 2 minutes each if you'd like to join us. We'll be back at the Delta next week. I think everyone got here to the Blake House. Nice job. The Delta, February 19th, back on schedule there. Rotary Rewind is scheduled to have its next meeting Thursday, February 19th, 5:15 at Core Plaza's The Vault. Please. Where you at? Where you at? Muskegon Heights Museum of African American History, and that is right across from City Hall, correct? In Muskegon Heights. Look at it for in the rim. Thank you. Please consider joining your fellow Rotarians from Muskegon Grand Rapids clubs for a joint service project at Feeding America West Michigan, their operations center in Grand Rapids. We will be there Saturday, February 21st from 9 a.m. to noon. February 21st, 9 a.m. to noon, with a lunch served after our work. We're taking about a half a dozen of our Interact students with us, but our numbers are hopefully going to be more towards the 35 total, but we are sort of falling short on that right now. Please register and have a waiver. Roger Morgenstern, President-elect, will bring waivers if you don't have one next week for you. And those who are under 18 will need parent signatures. Registration is through Sign Up Genius. Find the sign up link in the rim, one of the several emails that Kim has sent you. Feeding America is the foundation for our food truck events that we have covered over the years. I'm asking for your time and talent, and I thank you. I want to again publicly thank Tom Palmer for his dedication to Muskegon Rotary Club as a member of the Board of Directors, For personal reasons, Tom left the board and resigned for now from Rotary. As per our bylaws, your Muskegon Rotary Club Board of Directors Tuesday selected a replacement until the next annual membership meeting in December. Samantha Scott will fill Tom's term as the director. Samantha is co-owner and president of Preferred Employment and Living Supports, serving individuals with disabilities in Muskegon and Ottawa counties. She is also an Athena winner of the Lakeshore 2025 Young Professional Award. Welcome to the board, Samantha. You go last. Yep. Yep. You're together? Okay. I'm breaking the rules for my two dear friends here because we want to support them. Yes, this is only for announcements for Rotary things, but you got to understand that in this year, your board and your leadership has reached out to the Muskegon JCs and said, how can we bring more people like this into our club? And in doing so, they asked for support for Snowfest and other collaboratives that we are going to be doing. I have met with their board. Leadership have met with our board. And one of the things that I said we want to do is support them in this event and as volunteers, as sponsors, as attendees. So, ladies, mic's yours.
All right. Hello, everyone. We want to make a big announcement. As you may have heard, we are doing the 40th annual Snowfest right here in downtown Muskegon. Woo woo is right. So if you don't know about Snowfest, it is not led by the city. It's actually led by young professionals within our community, which are called the JCs. And so we're doing things a little different this year since it's our 40th anniversary and they let me have hands-on rules and regulations. We decided to elevate this to the next level. We're taking this to the Hilt Building where we're doing our most famous event, which is Battle of the Bulls. Last year, we sold over 400 tickets, and this is where we have 12 restaurants here locally competing for a couple trophies. People come, and we are actually doing a special this weekend for tickets. It is 2 for $40, and that will go from Friday until Monday morning. So if you are interested in buying tickets, you can catch us at jci.org/Snowfest or catch us on Facebook. We're all over the place. So I wanted Karen here, she's on my committee team, to talk more about some events because we are shutting down 2 blocks within downtown Muskegon.
So we are going to have multiple kid zones this year. We're having a big emphasis on making this a family-friendly event, getting people outside and enjoying the outdoors. And we're able to put this on thanks to so many great partners, many who are in this room today. So the Boys and Girls Club are going to have a kid zone where they're giving away stuffed animals. They're going to have a hot cocoa bar. We're going to have the Lakeshore Museum Center have a pop-up museum with some fossils and exhibits to explore. We are going to have meet and greets with the Muskegon Police Department and the Muskegon Fire Department, so a chance to meet some local hometown heroes. We are also going to have the MCC Jayhawk and some other mascots walking around. So there's going to be a lot of free events for families. There's also the Muskegon Museum of Art is going to do snow painting or patio painting, depending on the weather. So there's going to be a lot of really fun things to get out and do. So please come on out, support. If you're able to volunteer, we're in need of volunteers. You can sign up online for that. It's a great way to volunteer with your family. Yep, sign up on the United Way website. So come on out, enjoy Snowfest, support your community, have fun outdoors, and help support, this wonderful organization that I've really enjoyed being a part of and the way that it gives back to our community.
Thank you, ladies. You actually got snow this year for Snowfest. That hasn't always been the case. Well, a little rain next week. Yeah, I know. Being positive, guys. Raffle. Eric? What are we doing first, sir? $5. 738. In the back, Dimitri. We going for 10 there? $10. $796. We got 796 going once. Twice, 796. Draw again. 757. Bingo. And for 20. Seven, 771. Oh, the fix is in. Thanks, Eric. Our program will be our own podcast next week. We're going to be ready to go there, right, Michael? Muskegon Rising. And I saw something that was sent to me. Was that just me, or did everyone get this? To be able to be live with you at a future podcast? Is that news to me? Somebody sent it out. It came with your logo, buddy. Man, somebody is getting aggressive on the marketing side of the Muskegon Rising, and we'll hear all about it next week. After the bell, I'll play Jackson Brown's Loadout Stay, as many of us mingle, staying here, creating that magic of Rotary. That is in honor of our production team of Mike, Kim, Jay, Dennis, staff here at the Lake House. They all make our weekly gatherings meaningful. Members, guests, please rise as we recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's unite for good. We are adjourned.